When Donald Trump was campaigning to be president, one talking point that he had, and he was very consistent about it, was his priority of helping veterans. He was angry at how veterans were treated in the healthcare system, and so he wanted to prioritize helping them as much as possible. Now, fast forward to Trump's administration, where Trump is president, and he's singing a different tune, and it seems as though he has no interest in even meeting with vets. In fact, since he got elected, he has not met with veterans a single time. And now vets are starting to get really upset about it. Now, apparently there was a meeting just this week with vets in the White House, and they thought that there was a huge possibility that they would finally get a face-to-face meeting with the president, and that didn't happen. So Tuesday's meeting, which was first reported by the Military Times, included Veterans Affairs Secretary David Shulkin, former apprentice contestant Omarosa Manigault, and a handful of White House staffers. Several attending the meeting said they fully expected they would have met with Trump by this point in the administration. Trump himself has still not met face-to-face with veterans groups since he was elected president.
Okay, let's pause here. Now, and I think you're being a little fair. I mean, the veterans, after all their sacrifice, and there's some of them lost limbs, traumatic brain injuries, they lost their friends. At least they got Omarosa.
They got Omarosa, and look, to be fair to Trump, he is president, and the president has very important meetings to attend. So some of those meetings on that day, while the vets were in the White House, Trump was meeting with senators in the White House, tourists in the White House basement, leaders of the AFL-CIO, and also the Boy Scouts. So, meeting with the Boy Scouts is way more important than meeting with the vets that you prioritized in your campaign.
Remember that big event that he did when he ran away from the Megyn Kelly debate?
Yeah.
When he was a coward, and then he said, oh yeah, I'm gonna do an event for veterans. I raise money for veterans. So he surrounded himself with veterans when he was running.
Yes.
Now that he won, I'm done with you guys. Here, send us some reality show contestant to deal with them.
So they're legitimately upset, and I'll give you some of the quotes from these vets in just a second. But for anyone who is a vet, and first of all, thank you for your service. But if you are a vet and you decided to vote for Trump, I need to know whether or not you're genuinely surprised that he doesn't respect you and never has. I mean, while he was campaigning and pretending like he cared about you, he talked about how John McCain is a loser because he was a prisoner of war. He was very foul-mouthed and unsavory to Kaiser Khan, who lost his son as he was in the military. I mean, he never respected you, and he was actually pretty transparent about it. So when they tell me that, oh, well, we voted for Trump because he was telling it like it is. Yeah, he told it like it is. It's just that you ignored that part and decided to listen to the lies where he pretended like he cared about you and would do something for you if you got elected.
So he said, I prefer people who weren't captured. That's unbelievable, referring to John McCain. But look, guys, everything he says is a lie. I don't know when you're gonna finally acknowledge that. So he said, oh, the generals, they're the worst. We're not winning with the generals, right? Then what did he do? He got an office, surrounded himself with generals. And he said, go Goldman Sachs and the global financial interests, they're terrible. Got an office. He broke records for how many Goldman Sachs guys are in his administration. He's got 5 guys from Goldman Sachs, including the president of Goldman Sachs in his administration. And then he's, oh, veterans, I love the veterans. As soon as he's in office, I don't need the veterans. They didn't donate to me at all. It was just a campaign prop. I'm done with him, right? When are you gonna get it? In fact, one of his own friends said he's a pathological liar. He's like, I like the guy, he's fun, but we know he just lies all the time. That's just Donnie.
It's insane. Okay, so let's hear from the vets and how they feel about Trump and his new position as president. One individual says, I won't say anyone told us we were meeting with the president, but it was implied that we would be able to voice our concerns to the boss, the guy who ultimately runs everything, which is the president. Now, they also described the ongoing efforts by veterans groups to meet directly with the president since he was elected as a fruitless effort that has left them feeling completely rebuffed by the White House. Another veteran with American Legion, actually he's the American Legion executive director, Verna Jones, he says, President Trump ran a campaign on helping veterans. When you look at who he has met with since winning, he has to make sure to make veterans a priority still.
Oh my God. So, this is a trick he's done before. Hey, remember, of course, famously at Trump University, guys, you get to meet Trump if you pay $35,000 for this nonsense degree that's not a real degree from a non-real university. And it turns out when they came to meet Trump, they had a cardboard cutout of Trump. Oh my God, right? This is the kind of scam artist he is.
I know, but he's busy. He's meeting with the Boy Scouts.
So, and tourists, random tourists in the basement. And so this is the second time he sent in Omarosa to meet with veterans.
Yes.
Like, I thought, like, wait, is she a veteran or something? Why does he keep sending her in?
No, of course she's not. Of course she's not. So she was a chaplain for the military guard or something like that. Something ridiculous. And by the way, the vets themselves have showed that they're a little upset about that as well. In fact, in the first meeting with Omarosa, afterwards, one of the attendees, a veteran who wished to remain anonymous, said the following: when Omarosa was introduced, the room collectively gasped. There were people there missing limbs, and she was once a chaplain with the militia. Another in attendance said there was an obvious disconnect between that transition team and, at that point, New York.
So these guys were ready to give their lives and a lot of times gave their limbs for the war. And they're like, on the upside, you get a reality contestant. And if you guys are really good, next meeting, you might even get Khloe Kardashian.
You know who's going to stop Trump, stop the establishment, stop the corruption? You are. You help us hire new investigative reporters, and we will unleash it on them. tytnetwork.com/go. Let's build the best journalism team in America.